G'day ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Zerg versus Protoss match coming up for you here today on Belshire Vestige. Hope you're all prepared and have your strategy caps on to get ready for some interesting action that we've got here today. Up on the top left hand side as our red Zerg player here. It does say that he's outrun and as part of a local Korean clan, but I do know him as Crimson, who you may have seen on a couple of other VODs that I've posted here on the channel. Was previously playing for Team Iris over in New Zealand, but is now a part of the Checkmate SC2 team that they have sort of reformed, I suppose, with a couple of the other locals there from New Zealand. And his opponent down at the bottom right-hand side is our blue Protoss player here. For the next clan, it is Impact. Not the Impact you may love and adore from over at Axiom Esports. This guy is a little bit of a different Impact, this time with Protoss instead of Zerg forces, and we'll see if he has what it takes to live up to the name that, well, the Axiom Impact certainly was really displaying some skill earlier. Just this week, of course, he actually took out Team Liquid in the ATC. It was pretty damn impressive of him to go all the way with that. So we will have Crimson up here. As I mentioned, he's been around for a little while as well, and does have some really good macro and also some nice mechanics. And we'll see how he goes up here against a High Masters Protoss player. Of course, Protoss has been a little bit of the talk of the town, given that you know, having some particular ease in a couple of the matchups, but you know, we'll see how it goes here this time for Impact. He's going to scout out with a probe, of course, going gateway expansion so that he has a nice safe little start up, and also being very economical as well. And Crimson, wow, somehow that drone does sneak its way into the back of the mineral line. And just a very small, little tiny thing that he did there was just to sort of send it around to the back and just sort of stay out of vision range of that probe for the short time that it was around. So now Impact comes down here and he's going to be like, oh, whoops, I thought that drone that I'm following right now was going to be making that hatchery. So he's going to be, just a little bit sort of, oh, that's unfortunate. It's not life-threatening, it's not game-threatening, it's not game over. But, you know, it's always nice for a Protoss when you do get to block off that expansion for a little while, just so that you can just slightly delay the Zerg so that they can't be as economically efficient as they'd like to be. Because if you're banking up minerals, then, you know, you can have a little bit more of, it's not as, I suppose, flush is a nice way to put it. The build that you will do is not as flush if you have to sort of, you know, wait a little bit to build the hatchery and that kind of stuff. But Impact is going to be starting out his Mothership core. He did, interestingly, finish up the Zealot. Normally what people will do when they go for a Gateways expand is they'll start a Zealot as soon as that, as soon as the Cyber core goes down. Normally you'll start up the first Zealot, and then you'll actually cancel it when you get to about the 3-minute 40 mark, or around about that kind of timing. So the fact that he's let this complete is a little bit interesting. It may signal that he is going to go for some early pressure here. Of course, way back in the day when, you know, 4-gate was a big thing, the first Zealot would also always complete, and you get a Stalker following up pretty quickly. In fact, we are going to get a Stalker here and a Chrono Boost on that here from Impact, so he does want to get out there and get some damage done. We'll have to see exactly what the plan is very soon. If he's going to make another 3 gates, if it's going to be 2, and then some tech or something like that, we'll have to see. But there are certainly a lot of options open for Protoss players when they do this particular opening. The Gateway expansion has no, it's not sort of, I suppose, built into a certain path where you're always, like with a Forge Fast expansion, for example, at certain points, like, you know, a Zerg player will be able to say, alright, I can drone until here, I can take my 3rd base, and then keep droning until blah blah blah. And so there's all these certain timings here, whereas with a Gateway expansion, there's all sorts of things that can go down. You could maybe even go super old school and have a like a Nexus cancel. Looks like, speaking of cancelling, we did have a cancel pile on there. But you can go up to 3 gates and do some pressure, 4, or perhaps even a Stargate after 3. And it looks as if Impact is going to try and put some pressure on. With his first Zealot, the Stalker, the Mothership core will also make her way across the map there as well. And we will see how much damage he can get done. This 3rd base of Crimson, not really well, there isn't much of a protective force out on the map at the moment here. It looks as if he's going to send a queen across, but that queen could be in a little bit of trouble as the zealots and the rest of the units are now warping in. There's going to be a large total of zealots that are making their way across here as well. There's going to be at least 4. A 5th one is also making its way through as well. Along with the Mothership Core and the Stalker, this will probably be a cancel on this base, because while Ling speed has completed, and there are a bunch of Lings now about to pop out, they don't exactly do too well when there are zealots and, of course, the Mothership Core up in the sky to add a bit of protection there as well. So, Crimson is going to have to back off for now. He wants to try and find that pylon. He's unsure of where the position is, but we do know that it's over across to that right-hand side, just outside the 3rd base. But Impact looking to back off now. He knows there's a lot of Lings, going to bring all the units together and say, peace out, I am out of here. Back home he goes, gets... is that all the units? Yeah, just one of the zealots got very, very low, but got all of his units back at home. Interesting wall-off we can see here from Impact. I'm a little bit surprised about this. Is just a one. This is like a size 1, I guess, hallway where units such as the zealots, the sentries, and then you know, Lings and other small units like that will be able to get through. But stalkers, immortals, and of course Archons, very big units, will not be able to get through that doorway there. So he might have to bust that pylon down very soon. But as you can see, Crimson's got a lot of forces out. Responding to that pressure, he had to get a lot of roaches and a lot of Lings out because anything could have happened there. But the follow-up from Impact is going to be an Oracle inside the main base. Getting a few kills, not completely destroying the mineral line, but is going to take out probably at least 5 or 6 here. In fact, he does get a 7th as well. The Oracle on very low health there. 1 shot to death, as we can see. And that would have been a dead Oracle, but certainly made up quite a lot of the cost there, taking out 6 of those workers there. Of course, one of them actually got killed over here at the 3rd base, but Impact is sitting pretty nicely right now, I'd say. He's getting his forge up. We're going to get some upgrades coming soon. Unfortunately, has a pretty decent supply block right now. Up there, it's at the 60 supply mark. We'll probably see him head up towards... It's just interesting because he has gone for the Stargate and the Robo and is getting both Immortals and the Void Rays out. Normally, like, a lot of people tend to favor a particular set there. Normally you'll get some Void Rays out and use them for protection against the Roaches and things like that. But he's actually going for both, so I'm not exactly sure what his particular play is going to be here, but it looks like it is going to be an expansion. We don't see an explosion of gates. There's a lot of chrono going down on, you know, on the upgrades there, and then as well the Robo facility. So Crimson's going to scout through here. He's just had a quick look at what's going on. He knows that there is a Stargate, so the fact that he didn't head down the back there isn't too much of an issue. We do see that the Oracle comes through again, picks up another 1 worker there. Nice kill there for Impact, and he's continually keeping tabs on his opponent's army and is, you know, just slowly building up his forces. Of course, as I mentioned, he's going to... It doesn't look like he's going to go for an expansion at this time because he's only just thrown down another 2 gates, and that is not exactly a large sort of attack force. So normally what you see on this map is a lot of people will just follow up like a successful attack by getting some... You just get some Immortals and Sentries together and just push in here. You can force field off this area. You can also use the hatchery to force field this little section to the side and then go to town on that hatchery. So it's a map that's very susceptible to that kind of thing, which is why we do see it so often. Which is why, if given the chance, a Zerg player they don't tend to like this map as much as they used to. So Impact is now going to move across. It looks like he does want to take that 3rd base. He's going to head over here and try and plant the Nexus. Unfortunately, is going to get blocked out by the creep that's down there from that Overlord, being extremely annoying right now. And yeah, there's the block on the units. He's finally realized and has said, "Oh, I can't actually get through there." And yep, he's gonna have to bust it down. There you go. So he does realize it. This is why I was saying it's a little bit of a different kind of wall. Normally, like, a lot of people put the pylon here and then sort of gateway up and do it that way. But it looks as if we will have a Nidus play coming out from Crimson. Got lots of queens and lots of roaches. It looks like they are all journeying into that Nidus network right now, and it looks as if he does want to try and get some heavy pressure on this 3rd base. The Lings will have to head out for now because there are far too many Zealots for them to contend with. with their +1 weapons, they just slice through those lings extremely quickly. And it looks as if Crimson does want to try again. He's going to get the Nidus Worm out. His economy is not sitting perfectly at this stage, just trying to commit to an attack to try and keep his opponent on the back foot. Because normally at this stage, when the Protoss has gotten so far ahead when it comes to economy, you need to make something happen. And this is how he's going to do it. We're going to get the Nidus Worm out. We've got some roaches and some lings that are going to peck away at the rocks here. We want to limit the ability to force field this off here, because if you only need 2 force fields, that's not as good as needing the extra couple to force field this side as well. So Impact is going to see this attack coming in. Did he see the Nidus inside the main? I think the answer is a no, but he's a little bit busy right now. He's dealing with some roaches and some queens at the front door. The Void Rays and the Immortals will make short work of these roaches, but now with the second Nidus Worm up inside the main base, I would love to see Crimson head back inside, jump into the main base, and that is exactly what he is doing. Yeah, perfect stuff. He's going to head inside and get some work done here in the main mineral line. Lots of workers going down as well, which is always quite nice and good. I think what I would really like to see... Oh, and as we do see a recall back to home here from Impact, perhaps now jump back inside. Oh, wow, and especially considering that Impact has dropped some more energy on that Nexus to make it a photon overcharge. Maybe just heading back inside, heading back towards the third base and putting some more pressure on there would be a beautiful idea. Just means that he's really drawing the Protoss forces across the map, because now if Crimson sort of just jumped out and started attacking this base, he'd probably be able to take it down, because it's a long way to journey for the Colossi, the few Stalkers that are out, and the Immortals as well. So a little bit surprising that Crimson didn't want to continue with that attack. He got his units back at home here now, and it looks as if he is going to grab some more roaches, and it looks like we're still at 53 drones, so it's a relatively low economic gain from both players, and Crimson sort of made it that by forcing this aggression out. He's forced his opponent to struggle to get up the third base here. We can see that Impact himself is still only at 42 probes at this stage. But all this aggression does mean that the Zerg is also having a little bit of a tough time getting some drones out. But finally, cranks out a couple, is still sitting here at 50, but will be able to get a few more out as we see. Spire is also on the way, as he wants to leave options open for another kind of tech path as well. And we'll see where he wants to journey with this particular style, because now we've got lots of queens out. These are great for anti-air. They do a nice amount of damage. You can use them to transfuse other queens or perhaps some of these roaches as well. And so for the moment, he actually has a relatively nice position. The one thing is, you've just got to be careful, is that Impact is really building up this Death Ball. This is really turning into one of those old school Wings of Liberty Death Balls here. And while all this is going on, Impact has been free to try and target down some of these drones. He's done an excellent job with this Oracle here. He's now killed off a total of 17 workers. Does finally get shot down though. That Queen finally will get a medal for killing off that Oracle. It's been hanging around for an extremely long time. But now Crimson is going to be finally safe and sound for the moment. We may see a Spore Crawler or something go up here, but he can't really sacrifice the drones for static defense at the moment, so that's why we don't really see him investing too much in static D at the moment. We've got nothing at the front. We have just that single Spore Crawler inside the main. Normally at around about this time, a lot of Zerg players would start investing in maybe one or two spines inside the main to protect the mineral line from Zealot drops and DT drops and that kind of stuff. But just at the moment, with the economy still relatively far behind where it would normally be, you can't really go for that kind of play just at the moment. But speaking of plays, Impact now with his +1 weapons, both players with just the one single upgrade because of how aggressive this game has been, he is going to push across. He's got some really deathly looking units here, of course, with the Void Rays, the Colossi, the Archons as well. A couple of Immortals are still available, and Crimson looks like he is going to push through the bottom left-hand side of the map yet again. This Nexus is very exposed. I'm intrigued to see what Impact is going to do here, because there are a couple of options for what he could do. If he's going to recall back home, I'd be very surprised, but I kind of think, oh, okay, he is going to recall back home. I kind of feel like perhaps it'd be a better idea to actually push inside and just try and go for the base trade, because now we do have a lot of mutants that are out here for Crimson. Getting inside this third base, they're going to tear apart a lot of the probes that are in this mineral line here. Even the Nidus Worm provided a little bit of a distraction for a second there. The roaches are going to back up. You know, you'd think that he's going to head back inside to this third base yet again, but these mutants are trying to trade with the Stalkers. I think that, yeah, just heading straight into the mineral line here. Great decision from Crimson to be able to get in here and just sort of deal as much destruction on this side as he can. All the while, the Roaches are going to town on this third base over here. So the Mothership Core will be available to try and defend. Unfortunately, I think it will go down. Yes, it will. These Queens have done an excellent job supporting the Roaches. The Mutas, of course, are floating around, trying to get some work done, taking out pylons that are around the side of the map here. And with his fourth base still intact, I think this like, I don't really see a way that Impact is going to be able to do this. Like, he could have base traded before. As I said, I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't want to try and base trade earlier on. And now, sending in a few Zealots, he's going to try and cut up this hatchery before Crimson can properly take use of it. But all the while, he is going to lose his third Nexus here. Crimson has built up another hatchery just across to the left-hand side as well. And that is going to allow him to resupply. But the Mutalisk now floating over the Archons, perhaps not the best of ideas, losing quite a few of them. But Crimson will stick around. He's going to keep this base. Well, it is going to go down eventually, but he's got an eye on where all these units are, and this is really important because this allows him to be able to head out there, take out some of the various buildings that are around the place here for Impact. And I mean, I'm not really sure what the plan is here from Impact. Like, he's going to head out right now. He is just destroying things extremely quickly, but his own mineral line has been annihilated. We're now down to just the 10 workers at this stage. The Mutas are going to be able to take out a lot of those probes as they do retreat right now. But the Nexus is going to go down. We'll see the other Nexus in the main start to fall. We've got Blink Tech that is just about to be researched, and I think that will finish up, and that, well, that could be awesome, but unfortunately he doesn't really have any sort of Stalkers out of the field. He's got 5 Stalkers in total right now, and that's not really going to allow him a lot of mobility or anything. It's just 5 Stalkers, which isn't exactly a huge amount. So now we can see that Crimson going to lose the natural hatchery here, but at the same time, we've got so many Zerg forces inside the main base. Lots of Lings, lots of Mutas are now out here for Crimson. And even then, Roaches and Queens off to the side can still pour into the main base. And this is going to be the weirdest base race because I don't think there's a way that Impact can win this. He doesn't have enough. He's down at 72 supply. He cannot really contend with this. And Mutas just floating forwards are going to be able to finish off the rest of these buildings here. And I think this is going to be a win to Crimson in this, well, very aggressive Protoss versus Zerg game, but I mean, it's been one where both players have tried to maximize their efficiency, and it looks as if with a huge flock of Mutas, Crimson is going to finish off the last Stargate there, and that will be it as Impact taps out, is defeated. Unfortunate loss there for him. I kind of feel like earlier on he was in a really good position, but a great idea from Crimson just to try and Nidus, really take advantage of the mobility of Protoss. Having a little bit of trouble once recall is down. He was not able to jump across to both bases and sort of lost a lot of workers for that as well. So hope you all enjoyed that intriguing little game there from these two players. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and share all the content you can. It's all good. Leave some comments and say hello. Catch you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really, really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much more